guys and girls, and welcome to another video. Today I'll be reviewing for you the Mercedes A35 AMG Sedan versus the A250 Sedan. We'll be taking a look at the differences between the two models, take them out for a drive, and then in the end I will give you my opinion on whether the A35 is worth the extra money over the A250. Let's do it. So let's take a look at the design then. The A35 AMG is such a gorgeous car. The proportions on this compact sedan body style are so perfect. If you compare that to some of the other competitors, such as the BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe, you can see how the Mercedes designers have done such a good job. This looks so good and well balanced. So here we have the 19-inch AMG wheels, which is a cost option on it. On a standard, it would be 18-inch wheels. We also have the Designo Mountain Grey satin matte paint, which is kind of like not fully matte, but not sort of glossy either. And I think it looks just gorgeous in the bright sunshine. Moving around, we can see we have the multi-beam headlights, and the graphics look great, and they're also really good on the road. We have a specialty for the A35, which is a slight little spoiler down here. We also have the grille. This is the Mercedes-AMG twin blade grille. And moving over to this side, we can just appreciate the shape a little bit more. In the back, again, it looks great. We have a little rear spoiler here, which we don't have on the A250. And especially we have a twin exhaust with a diffuser as well down there. All in all, it is a perfect car. So the A250 in comparison, also a beautiful looking car. The proportions are of course the same. Here we have the 19-inch optional AMG wheels as well, slightly different design from the A35. And we don't have the rear spoiler, but we do have sort of twin exhausts, but they're actually fake exhausts. But I have to say they're both great looking cars. And I don't know which one you prefer. In terms of practicality, the two cars are identical. So we have the boot. Let's take a look. It's not huge, but it's not too small either. And I mean, you're not buying this car for the boot size anyway, are you? So one feature which is really cool that we don't have in the A250 is the red seat belts. I think they look really neat. Alright, so now we are inside the A35, and the design is beautiful. It's so modern. We have the large digital displays there, and we also have in comparison to the A250, we have the AMG steering wheel, which has this cool red line in the middle at the top. But apart from the steering wheel, the interior doesn't really differ at all from the A250. I mean, the only sort of other nice detail that we have here is the red seat belts. So those are kind of cool. They match the red stitching on the seats. Alright, so let's have a look at the infotainment system. I'm actually not going to go through the whole thing with you now, because I've already done that in my previous A250 review. So I'm going to focus on the things that are different in the A35 compared to the A250. So if you start with the left-hand screen here in front of me, well, the graphics are slightly different, and the scaling on the speedometer is different for one. But also we have a new mode. So if I go into the home setting, there is this AMG Performance app, which does not exist on the A250. So that allows me to see the boost of the turbo. It also brings the oil temperature and the gearbox temperature into the middle of the screen, which you can't get there in the A250. Apart from that, you can get the kilowatt, the newton meter, that's the power output, as well as the torque output displays there. And then you get the temperature ones here. There's a G meter, so if you're pulling hard G's, cornering, acceleration, braking, it'll show you that there. It's kind of like a gimmick, really, not really much use for that. Alright, so that's that. I mean, obviously we also get another style which does not exist on the A250. So if you go to style and display, there is this Super Sport display. So this is kind of very futuristic, very kind of Star Wars or sci-fi themed display. I don't personally like that so much. So you get the kilometers on the left hand side, and you get the RPM on the right hand side. Let's see if we start the engine, if we can get a some action going on there. So yeah, you can see on the right hand side how the rev counter is kind of like a moving bar on the right hand side. To be honest, kind of looks weird to me. I prefer the classic sporty look. Now on the right hand side, I think the same goes for this menu. So there is actually not much difference, but we do have the, well, we should have the AMG performance, and there it is. So again, you can get your engine data here, but this is kind of very similar to what you already get on the A250. Nothing too different there. Okay, well, another difference that we get is in the center console. So we have new buttons here. We have a manual setting for the gearbox. So if I hit that, it will change my gears into a manual mode. I have the traction control off there, and on the other side we also have a button for the adjustable dampers. So that will give us a different setting for the dampers. If you look at the screen now, you can see there the different driving modes. So if I click on the suspension button, it will keep cycling the different options. There's Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus. There's also above it, you can see where it says Basic. So that's the exhaust setting. So if I go into the dynamic switch here, which changes the driving modes, so I can go into, I have actually some new options here that don't exist on the A250. That slippery one does not exist there, and also down here the Sport Plus does not exist on the A250. And what do? You can see the settings on the right hand side. So with the slippery, you have reduced power, you have automatic transmission, you have basic exhaust and comfort suspension. You go to individual, well, that one you can control yourself, you can do whatever you want there. Comfort, okay, moderate engine, drive, basic, comfort. If you go into sport, you get advanced exhaust, and the suspension goes to sport. And then you have the Sport Plus, which is the best for driving. So you have dynamic engine power, drive for okay, I've got that automatic gearbox at the moment, advanced exhaust, and sport suspension. So that's something new that doesn't exist on the A250. Apart from that, it's pretty much all the same stuff going on. So the A35 exhaust is actually adjustable, so you get a different tone depending on your driving mode. So if you're in comfort, the sound is sort of quieter, and if you go into Sport Plus, it gets louder. Let's take a look. Alright, so to find out how the car handles and how fast it is, we've come to a finished country road, or a B road as you'd say in the UK. So let's first see how it handles, and then we'll see how fast it will do acceleration. Alright, so to do this B road dash, what we'll first do is go into the driving mode selection, and we want it on Sport Plus. I'm not sure if you're able to hear, but actually the exhaust has got louder as well. The other thing we want to do is we want to take the ESP off, so we get the sport handling mode. We also have here an app with which we can measure the 0 to 100 kph acceleration. Alright, so the first run was 5.8 seconds. That's not very good, but I suspect that the launch control wasn't fully activated, so let's do another one. So we're just going to get into position to launch, and then we're going to stop there, activate race launch control, and then see what happens. There we go. So looking at the results, we've got here 5.2 seconds to 100 kph, 6.8 seconds to 120 kph. We probably could have done a little bit better if we had done a few more runs, but I'm alright with that. Alright, so we've seen how fast it is. Let's see how it handles on a twisty back road. Well, I have to say the cornering is pretty damn good. It really goes like it's on rails. There is no body roll at all, no wafting about. It's just really cornering flat and tight. The steering is also really responsive, and it conveys really good feel. It feels completely different to the A250. The A250 is much lighter steering, and it does not convey the amount of information that I'm getting from this steering. And brakes, excellent, really excellent. Some tight corners here I need to negotiate. Whoa, there's another one, a bit of traffic. Okay, let's accelerate out of it. Whoa, this is really good stuff. Come on. All right, there we go. I have to say the sound is really good as well. I don't know if you can hear that in the video, but the way the exhaust crackles and pops, especially on the overrun, is really quite exciting. Okay, let's see. I have to say this is like a completely different car compared to the A250. That one is soft, it lacks steering feel, it really wafts about in corners. You're almost losing control in that car because of the body roll. But this is like a proper sports car in comparison. And obviously I've got the driving dynamic selector in Sport Plus. It means I've got the sharpest throttle response, I've got the tightest suspension setting, I've got the sports setting for the exhaust, also for the gearbox. It changes the slightly jerky gear changes, but that's kind of part of the Sports Plus mode, so they are very quick changes. Now, one thing also worth noting is that the A250, the driving mode selector also changes the level of power steering, so you can get like in the comfort mode the steering is light, and in the sport mode it gets a little bit sort of heavier. However, it does not improve the steering feel, and that's the A250 I'm talking about. In this A35, what we've got is only one setting for the steering, so it's completely different steering geometry. It does not change depending on the driving mode. It's already been set up perfectly, so it's very well weighted, it's quicker, it's more accurate, it conveys more feel, and it's amazing how good a steering they managed to build. So if you're wondering whether you should get the A250 or the A35, I would say that it really depends on your driving style. If you're only sitting on the motorway and in traffic in town, then it makes no difference. You might as well get the A250. It's cheaper to buy, and also consumes less petrol. However, if you do like your driving, if you are a keen driver and you want to sort of, if you enjoy the occasional Sunday blast on a country back road such as this one, then definitely go for the A35. I mean, this is the driver's choice of the two. So let's try to negotiate this cyclist here. Let's go for a little overtake. I hope the loud exhaust of the A35 does not scare this little granny on her bicycle. She seems to be okay in the mirror. Okay, get another one. That's Granny and Grandpa on a little cycling journey. Alright, let's see. How do we manage this one? Because we don't really see behind the corner, so I don't want to go onto the other lane. Alright, so there we go. Okay, I think he's going to be scared because I can't fight the temptation to do a bit of acceleration here. This is what driving is all about. This is the perfect road. This is the perfect car. This is the perfect weather. Man. Oh, come on, birds, get out of the way. This is the A35. You're no match for it. Oh, they listened well. And there we go. That's the end of the road. Now that was a lot of fun. Alright, so after all the driving, it's time for conclusions. What do I like about the A35? Well, I love the engine. It's fast, it's responsive, it's torquey. I like the steering, it's direct, it's full of feel. I like the suspension. It's comfortable when you need it to be comfortable. It's tight when you need it to be tight. The car corners like it's on rails. I mean, all the sort of driving attributes are spot on in the A35. Now, what do I not like then? I have to say it's really hard to find anything not to like, but I guess the price would be something in that category. I mean, it is an expensive car, but it is also a good car. So the question really to ask is it worth the extra money over the A250? And depending on the market where you are, the A250 is about 15,000 euros less than the A35 when it's fully spec'd up. At least here, that's the case. And is it worth it? Well, my answer is 100% yes, it is worth it. And I would go as far as to say that if you're thinking that you have the money to buy the A250 but not quite the money to get the A35, I would say hold off, save another year, come back and buy the A35. It's that much better. And then we're going to leave it this time. Before you go, don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you'll stay tuned with the new content that's coming. See you next time.